Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right in my lab. I do what I do for you. Today, right as in 25 rules to live by, storytelling, story with a message, message to the story for life. These are life lessons. I'm giving them. You tune in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's keep it moving. I got you. Right Thinkers' mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life, and it is a way of life, through mental and spiritual discipline, when daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission. I'm on it. Yours is to get the lessons, use them, and improve by it. Let's go. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Avoid them. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do. It's for you. I got you. Stay tuned. I got you covered. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my app, be true. Today, let's talk about something again that I'm bringing back around. I've done this a while ago, but I don't think a few people are really doing up on what I was doing, so I'm going to bring it back for you. It's called Signs and Symbols, the original language. Before they was writing, there was signs, okay? Caveman, stickman, we go back further than that, okay? We had ancients who wrote the hieroglyphics, aka Maginetta. Let's talk about this. We use signs, modern day, stop sign, yield sign, slow, miles per hour, speed limit, all to communicate information for us to journalize and understand. Signs are necessary, trust me, form of communication. All right, that's cool. All right. Everywhere you go, it's a sign. Here, this, that, and the other. Symbols are a form of information. They give information. I wear the pyramids, okay? 3 of them, okay? Symbolically, they're signs for me to establish that I have what? Knowledge. Higher knowledge, ancient knowledge, superior knowledge. Okay, that's a title of a person with all those characteristics I just told you about. They call sage. Okay, our ancients were smart, intelligent enough to what? Speak in a hidden spiritual language. It said a picture's worth 1,000 words. We started out in pictograms. Okay, that means you can look at a picture and see it, and it sends a message to the mind of what that is. The ancients did that to perfection. They called it anthropomorphizing. Okay, you took the characteristic of that animal, portrayed the animal in a person would know the characteristic and see that in that animal and understand it. We relate the symbols of the cross again to Christians. I ain't going there, but yeah, that's a sign. Christ died on the cross. So they use that as a symbol, recognize that. I wear the pyramids because the first knowledge, the first written text on the pyramid walls. And the phrase, the handwriting's on the wall. I heard that a lot, didn't have a clue what it meant. Now I can tell you, the handwriting's on the wall. What do you mean? Go to Egypt and find out. Okay, that's why. So understand, it's a symbol, it's symbolic. Everything we do pretty much is symbolic and has a meaning for that individual. Watch this. Now, the Ankh, aka the key of life, okay? When they saw that, they knew what it meant. They knew that that meant male, female, and offspring. The bottom is the male phallus going up into the female womb. When this happens, they have intercourse. The sperm from the phallus goes into the female womb where the egg is, and guess what come out? Offspring. So they knew that that was the key of life. Not that it went open, no, it expressed life. It showed you life. Once you understood the divine and understanding the definition of what it was portraying, now we know. Okay, same thing. Next one is no words. We can communicate without words. Those pictures back there say a whole bunch, but just the faces, no words. You can ad lib. The Egyptians didn't use vowels when they did their words. Why? Some words that somebody didn't like to use for symbolic reasons. Again, something else that we don't know about. Another lesson, another time. But the point is, when you reading signs, when you see symbolic symbols, they relate a more memorable message to you. It stains the brain, so to speak. Okay, watch this. We communicate with each other. We communicate with each other long before the words, letters, and alphabet. Again, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. The first text was on the pyramid walls. I ain't going there. They say in signs, aka pictograms, is worth 1,000 words. So we were speaking many words with just our pictures. So again, signs, symbols speak louder than letters and words. Before we came into existence, that's how we communicated. We speak words to communicate with definitions. And until today, the hardest language in the world is the English language. Why? Because there's so many variants. There's so many this, that, and the other. I grew up with it. I only know one language. It's hard enough to get a grasp of that. I admire and respect anybody who take on the challenge to learn other language. I ain't trying to do that. So, big respect for those who do. No problem. Daughter got 7 of them. It's crazy. All right, here you go. But words are signs we learn to speak and write over a period of time. It's a great invention. Why? It simplified, or did it really simplify learning? Because the educational system right now is not nowhere worth anything right now. So, I ain't going there. Okay, we talking about the lesson about words, signs, and symbols. Okay, words, like signs and symbols, have power if understood and used correctly. Again, a tool in the right hand creates a masterpiece. A tool in the wrong hand, destruction, disaster. I'll let that stay there. Next one is, there you go. Symbols speak loud. Okay? Mayat's feather, I got that in my office, keep that around, is a symbol that tells you your heart has to be light as that feather. That means you can't carry around a bunch of unnecessary baggage in your heart. Animosity, jealousy, greed, egoism. All those qualities that weigh the heart down. Honesty, transparency, spirituality. All those are good qualities. Doing the right thing, living right, being right, doing your best whenever you have to, putting your best foot forward and activating or going by your spiritual disciplines, answering to a higher consciousness of yourself. That's Maya. That's how you lighten your heart. Well, how you lighten the heart? Stop doing the things that make the heart heavy. Gotta go to the doctor. He said, Doc, it hurt every time I do that. Doc said, don't do that. Simple. If it ain't working, don't do it. Simple. Oh, simple concept. Here you go. Now, Mayat scales we use to judge your Mayat lifestyle by. At Judgment Day, where's my book? I ain't got my book. They had your heart weighed against the feather of Mayat. Mayat was so important to them that they judged you by how Mayat you live, or how righteous, how right you lived. Mayat also was represented by a pedestal. That is what you see the God and goddesses standing on in their pictures. You see them, God, Ra, Osiris, King of the Dead, Ptah, self-created one, all stands on Mayat. The creation story goes, when Ra came out of the mouth, before he uttered, let there be light, before he proclaimed himself, he set forth Maya. Why? Because it was chaos. Chaos is potential anything. It can be anything. That don't mean it's good. When he came out, he needed what? Order. From order, let there be light. Now we can work. This is conceptually how it began. And Maya was a major factor in the creation. That's my point. And watch this. Maya represents justice, righteousness, reciprocity. Anything that's divine and good is Maya. This is why you want to live. Maya, I get excited. Maya has symbols that speaks volumes for her character, such as the scale, the balance. Okay, you see me doing this. That's representing Maya as the scales. She was so important that she's there at Judgment Day. She's the ultimate judge. And Anubis is there to make sure everything go right. Tahuti is there because he's keeping records. Okay, you got your 42 judges there because anytime you say what you have not done, that God in that aspect, your character is watching over you. That's why I answer to a higher power. Why? Because they're watching your ancestor, whatever you want to call them. I call them the God and gods, what they are. Why? It's the higher self and their ancestral. I can speak to my ancestors of my knowledge. I can't talk to somebody else's ancestors. I don't know them. I can talk to my great-great-grandmother. I can talk to my great-grandmother and my grandmother, okay? So I can have conversation with people who I've actually encountered. That's the key to ancestral worship. You keep that spirit alive in you. That's what God needs man to do. God made man so man can make God. Nonetheless, that's the concept. Let's go. Maya can be used to live by. Watch this. It was good enough for God to stand on. It's good enough for me to live by. That's my right thinking philosophical concept, and that's why I chose Maya. If God can choose her, I'll choose her too. That's just my thing. Now, let's get to the writings, the Medunetta. They called it hieroglyphics. They didn't know what it was, but everything that they said, we got to go with. We called it Medunetta, the writings of God, God's writing. This is why people who think about the Bible swear to God, this is God's writing. God had put the pen down by the time we get to the Bible. That's how I go there. I'm gonna let that go. But Medunetta, the language of God, the writings of God. Medunetta, aka writing of God, aka that God is Tahuti. Tahuti is God's brain. Tahuti is your rational, your reason, your logic, your memory. He's the person ascribed to all. He keeps the records. Tahuti is the record keeper. Your character, that's part of your personality. He gave every aspect of your personality a God name and an identity to go with it so that you can study philosophically, learn it. If you learn Tahuti, you learn it yourself. You learn about Isis, you learn it yourself. You learn about Cyrus, you learn it yourself. You learn about Haru, you're the finished product. I keep him last. Why? Because you don't beat the cart before the horse. No, learn these other things first. Wow, when you get there, you will understand. So it's a process like anything else. We're taking it slow. I'm walking into it. Get the best I could. Let's go. Medunetta, the words of God to man from a spiritually to become spiritually enlightened, to give him knowledge of himself, to pay God respect and praise so that he can look down on his creation and be smile and nod conceptually. He's the Father. That's mine. He's up in heaven. His art is being done in heaven now. He's looking down on me. I'm his creation. I was created in his image, in his likeness. Get it? Yeah. So understand that. If we understand certain philosophical points of view, we take that and use that and build on it. Don't say, well, did it really happen? That's not the point. Is to learn and get a concept that you can live with and manifest for yourself, the things that it's trying to get you to understand. The Medunetta is the original blueprint for what human being behavior, mankind. It got the blueprint to tell you what to do, how to do, and why. I'm just bringing it to you my way, but this is where I got it from, okay? Understand that. I don't make it up. Just say nothing my own. Nothing except the twist that I bring to it, the pizzazz or swag, whatever. But I don't make nothing up. I study, I learn, and I try to give it to you, serve it to you where you can enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go. Get back on. Whoa. Yeah, I gotta get done. Let me wrap this up. Here you go. Right thinking philosophy is a follower of divine principle set forth from the Measure-Netta, aka the Maya philosophical points of view. I just modernized it, colorized it, brought it up to date. So now I can serve it to you in the form of right thinking philosophy. Ta-da. Let's go. Last one. I appreciate you tuning in. Read the signs. They have a meaning. Don't just read it, understand the hidden message. This is what I teach. I don't teach you the esoteric, the stop sign. I'm going to teach the philosophy behind the purpose of the stop sign. Not the mileage you got to travel, but why you got to travel. Why they give you that reason to travel that fast. Those are the things that you need to know. Now you have understanding. That's knowledge. Here you go. Understanding the esoteric, aka hidden meaning of the symbols, is the purpose of the symbol. Masonic people see that G in the middle, it don't stand for God. Compass in the square. You can't make a circle without the compass with the dot in the middle. The dot represents you. I taught that for years. I forgot about that whole philosophical concept. I had a whole nother thing going. But for that point, for the compass and square, I use that as a teaching tool. Okay? The right angle teaches you to what? Be precise and square your actions. Be on point. Cut your corners, square your corners, military concept, all that. But it was all mental. It was all conceptual. What we called it, speculative masons. We didn't actually work in mortar and brick. We used the speculative concepts to use the same tool to build ourselves, our character, for building better edifice, a human being. Man, it worked. Why? It all works. I tell you, if you practice it, it all works. But I elevated past that nonsense too. Okay, here you go. Sorry about that, my brothers. Knowing the hidden messages, okay, are what enlightens you to yourself. There's a hidden message in the message that you can get, and it will help you again to stay in the brain with a more noble and glorious purpose. Right thinking philosophy job is to do just that, teach you that noble and glorious purpose in understanding the signs and symbols and their meanings so you can live a more noble and glorious lifestyle with what? Knowledge of self. Chomping at the bit right now. I'm trying to hold it down. I'm almost done. I'm going to make it through. I'm going to make it. I think I can. All right, here you go. Now, the God and goddesses are the signs and symbols of mastering yourself, a.k.a. knowing God. Every aspect of your character is laid out for you. You master them, it will get you somewhere. Haru, a.k.a. Christhood, anointed, yes. Knowing thyself. But it's a process that you have to go through. I'm a master symbologist. Why? I know the hidden symbols, meanings, and I have a lot of them. All I can do is elaborate on them, bring them to your attention, and once you start paying attention, you'll know them too. That's why I do what I do for you. I'm here to help you out. I'll be back.